So Joe Biden's campaign is reduced to delivering pizzas and beer to fire departments, but then again, he knows what his actual qualifications are. So, hey, kudos to Joe for finally figuring it out what he's actually good at, being a delivery boy. That said, what about him using teleprompters and earpieces to get answers while he's being interviewed and asked questions? Is this a setup and a prelude of what the debates could look like? Then, of course, there is this backlash and outrage that how dare these NFL fans who are obviously all nothing but racist boo during a moment of unity. Is that really what it's about? And if you're really thinking the election is all that close and that Joe Biden is going to pull this out because, after all, the people are sick of Orange Man, well, Joe Biden, first of all, couldn't draw flies. And second of all, he doesn't get crowds that show up and do this.
Thank you. Don't say that, I'll start to cry, and that wouldn't be good for my image. You don't want to see me cry.
Boom. Welcome to the weekend edition of the Afternoon Drive. The other day, after Joe Biden at a union-sponsored event decided to take, these spontaneous questions from people, which were scripted and the people had already been given by the Biden campaign ahead of time. It's not bad enough that it's scripted, therefore Joe knows the question that's coming and should have the answer ready. He still has to read the answer from a teleprompter.
And I would like to know, what will your administration do to help them give them that chance? Thank you.
Move it up here. There used to be a basic bargain in this country.
Remember the old Carol Burnett TV show, and she used to end every week's episode with a tug on her ear, and that was a signal to the grandmother who raised her. That was her way of saying goodnight. Have you noticed that Joe Biden plays with his ear a lot when he's answering questions and doing press briefings?
I do want to press that. You say you didn't know anything about it, but you were reported to be at a January 5th, 2017 meeting where you and the president were briefed on the FBI's plan to question Michael Flynn over those conversations he had with the Russian ambassador Kislyak.
Now, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was aware that they asked for an investigation, but that's all I know about it. I don't know the detail of where we are right now.
Could he be wearing an earpiece? There were old Hollywood actors like Marlon Brando and even Angela Lansbury in the twilights of their careers when they couldn't remember their lines and they didn't want to be seen reading off of a teleprompter. They would wear an earpiece and their lines would be quietly fed to them. Is that what's happening here? I mean, is this life copying art?
Which tribes invaded Rome in 102 BC?
The Cimbri?
That is correct.
Hey, Joe, you always have a future as a televangelist fake healer.
Fishing cap, section 4, row out.
You, sir, come up on stage and be cured of your gambling.
That's incredible. Section 1, Pink Moo Moo. She lost her job at the mill.
And you, ma'am, in the nice pink dress, receive the Lord and you will find another job.
Section 3, first row. The white shirt, back problem.
And you, sir, believe in the Lord and cure your backache.
Same section, yellow shirt, hearing problem.
And you, sir, in the yellow shirt, come on up on stage.
Hearing problem. Section blue-haired lady. She's got arthritis.
And you too, ma'am. Come on up on stage. Oh, we're going to help some people tonight.
So is this really what we want the commander-in-chief to be? Somebody who's got to wear an earpiece so he knows what to say when he's talking to world leaders, so he knows what to say when he's doing a debate, that the answers are being spoon-fed to him as somebody quick Google searches and speaks into a microphone and tells him what to say, then that means he is not mentally cognitive to be the commander-in-chief. It's no more complicated than that. That is exactly what we're dealing with. A man who is completely mentally incompetent to be the president. But then again, the Democrats are really good at putting up mentally incompetent people. Take Nancy Botox Pelosi.
We have these fires in California and in the West. Mother Earth is angry. She's telling us, whether she's telling us with hurricanes on the Gulf Coast, fires in the West, whatever it is, that the climate crisis is real and has an impact.
So now the witch at Endor wants to...
Mother Earth is upset with us because we're not taking climate change seriously.
Okay, even if I were a climate change person, I would be insulted and a little bit torqued at that kind of a
Mother Earth.
Really? Okay, well, if you're going to go off and do asinine, secular, Wiccan type of bullhawk, then allow me for a moment to wax theological. It isn't Mother Earth, honey. It's Father God. And he might be just a tad upset that in states like California, you've padlocked the church. He might be just a little bit torqued that the phrase under God was removed from the Pledge of Allegiance during the Democratic National Convention. In fact, he might be just a little bit upset with the way that America keeps going in a vastly secular, carnal, flaunting any type of perversion as somehow being normal, where Netflix even wants to now normalize the sexualization of children. You think if we're going to go down a theological, spiritual path, Nancy, you might want to consider it isn't Mama Earth, but it's Papa, our Heavenly Father.
Guys, this has to stop, right? Or at least if you insist on a gender reveal, you should do something that helps the situation. The water's pink! It's a girl! And aside from all the damage it can cause, celebrating a baby's genitalia is starting to feel very outdated. Like, given everything we're learning about gender reveal parties should only happen when the child is old enough to know their actual gender and to pitch in some cash for the fire damage. And honestly, I don't even know why we need gender reveal parties. You know what we do need, though? Race reveal parties.
So Trevor Noah, the host of The Daily Show, thinks that we need to stop having these gender reveal parties, that they're dated, they're antiquated. First of all, to me, it's kind of a new thing. You know, I see these videos pop up all the time, you know, the blushing couple, you know, gonna reveal if they're having a boy, if they're having a girl, and they've got all these ways that they do it, from dropping eggs, and if it splatters blue paint, it's a boy, if it splatters pink paint, it's a girl, etc., etc. You know, we just didn't have that back in the day when my wife and I had our 4 kids. So this is all kind of new to me, so now to hear that it's dated. But why does Trevor say it's dated? Well, the child hasn't told us what gender they are. Wait, what? You know, it's amazing. The same crowd that tells us we have to listen to the medical scientific experts on the coronavirus, that we've got to listen to the experts on climate change, they're now telling us we've got to wait for an infant to become an age of maturity where they can tell us if they're a boy or a girl, that we cannot base it on genitalia. Let me help you out here, Trevor. If you're struggling to know what you are, let me help. Go into the bathroom, go into your bedroom, go into a place of privacy, disrobe, stand in front of a mirror, look at your body parts, get an anatomically correct picture in front of you of a male and female, and look and compare. And whatever you got, That's what you is. It's really no more complicated than that, Trevor. But hey, I realize you're not an expert on these things. Get woke, go broke. It is a mantra that keeps playing out over and over. NASCAR, trying to prove how woke they are and standing in solidarity with a driver, Bubba Wallace. There was a noose hanging in my garage. Really? And it turns out to be a little loop on the end of a pull cord to pull down his garage door. That's on every garage door in every NASCAR garage around the country. But it was a noose, because after all, we've got to stand because Bubba's life matters. And so all of the white drivers walked behind and pushed Bubba's car in a sign of solidarity, and NASCAR banned the Confederate flag, and now NASCAR is bankrupt. I have not watched any NBA basketball since it resumed. And the other day, I happened to be in a restaurant and they had some of the playoffs, and I was just, I'm so over it. Wearing their BLM t-shirts to warm up, and BLM all over the gym floor, and all of their racial diversity signs hanging up everywhere, and nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. Baseball has tried to stay away from all of that for the most part. They did something the very first day that baseball resumed, but all of the teams that participated in that also stood in respect for the real national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. The Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Mets and a couple of other teams did do a walkout over the shooting in Wisconsin, where they basically suspended play and walked off the field. Really, you want to take a stand for a guy who sexual abuse. He broke into a woman's home, sexually assaulted her. She had a restraining order filed on him so that when he returned, she called the police. The police were not out on the hunt looking to shoot a black guy. When the police confronted him, rather than submitting, he was under a felony arrest. It was a felony violation of what he had done, violating a restraining order and sexual assault. He fought with the police. There's video proof of that. They felt he was going to brandish a weapon. He ran to his vehicle. They told him repeatedly, stop, stop, stop. He opened the vehicle. He was not trying to get in the vehicle. It was obvious that he was reaching into the vehicle, and I am sorry, but adrenaline and instinct take over, and I don't care who you are or how you've been trained. I don't care what the color of your skin is. When you fear your life is in danger, you respond accordingly. So the NFL, they resume play. And of course, they're going to show us a moment of unity. And the fans weren't having it. The sports media elite like ESPN and sports commentators were outraged. They couldn't understand. Players were talking about how racist it was. What do we have to do to finally get people to take racial prejudice seriously? So really, you just called your fan base racist? Well, if that's the case, then why are you working in such a racist profession? Why are you taking money from people who are obviously racist? I mean, they're buying tickets, they're buying your merch. Obviously, you're making money off of racists. You have racist money in your accounts. So why don't you quit? Why don't you show that you really are a person of principle and just quit? Why, you don't want to be guilty of going out there and just entertaining a bunch of racists and letting racist money support you. Quit. Oh no, I couldn't do that. I am so sick and tired of listening to wealthy black athletes talk about how tough they've got it. I really am sick of it. And this is not a racist slam here. I don't like hearing from liberal, white, rich elite telling me what I need to do during the lockdown and the shutdown to keep us all safe and protect grandma. I don't like being lectured to by people who really, their biggest decision they make in the day is when they walk into their personal wardrobe is which of the 200 pairs of $200 plus shoes and sneakers they have are they going to wear that day? When they open their jewelry drawer, which of the 60 $2,000 and up price tag watches are they going to wear that day? Which of their 7 cars are they going to drive that day? And you're going to talk to us that somehow life has been unfair to you, that America is a bad place and it's filled with bad people and this systemic racism has oppressed you. How, pray tell, are you oppressed? With your multi-million-dollar contracts and your multi-million-dollar endorsement deals, you live in a country that pays you hundreds of millions of dollars to play a child's game. And if we're really this systemically racist and awful and it's bad, then please pack it up, head to some other country that will pay you millions of dollars to play a child's game, or millions of dollars to rhyme really fast using the word be and ho and pay you millions of dollars and mistakenly refer to it as music. I am so over being lectured to by you. And understand, that's the fan base right now. The fan base is not racist. We do not want people hurting other people based on the color of their skin, based on their nationality, based on their race. What we don't want is to continually be lectured to. And do you understand? Are you guys really so living in a vacuum that all you do is surround yourself with everybody who thinks like you and talks like you, and you only watch news outlets and news media outlets that portray your point of view, and you only watch entertainment that portrays your point of view? Are you really that out of it that you don't get it, that the American people have had it up to here now with all of this thanks to the looting, the rioting, and the burning? They're done with this, and they're wanting the sports because on top of the looting, the rioting, and the burning, and lunatic states like California and Illinois and Michigan, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, you can't even go to church. And so they were begging for sports to come back. Give me some diversion. Give me something to take me out of this reality of here and now and all of the bad news that I am surrounded by. And for a couple of hours, can I just not have to think about it? For a couple of hours, can I just enjoy a ball game? But no, you've even taken that away. And you've made it about your politics and looking at these NBA players as they kind of saunter in, for warm-ups, and they've all got a chip on their shoulder, and LeBron James, still acting like he's from the hood, when in reality, he's a multi-gazillionaire sellout. And we're sick of it, sick of being lectured to. And those boos were not boos in support of racism. They were boos in protest of sick and tired of your double standard hogwash. You make millions of dollars. Most people who go to a football game or a baseball game or an NBA game, it is a big chunk of their budget that they lay out to be able to go and enjoy a game. Could they just enjoy the game without all the political drama? Just play the game. What you do on your own time, you're a free American. You want to go to a peace rally? Go. You want to tweet? You want to put it on your Facebook page? Do what you got to do. Do your interviews, travel, and do your thing. But at the game, play the stinking game. And don't ram down our throat how awful and racist and rotten when you are making millions of dollars. Play the game. See, that's the issue. And if you guys haven't figured this out, well, maybe what we need to do is let all these professional leagues go bankrupt, because that's where they're headed. Go bankrupt. And then we will start all over from scratch, and this time, do it right.
Thank you. Don't say that, I'll start to cry, and that wouldn't be good for my image. You don't want to see me cry.
The president's Michigan rally interrupted with, "We love you, we love you, we love you." You have to know that Governor Whitlis went out of her mind. She didn't even want the Michigan rally to happen. But he is the president, and if he says he's coming, it's going to happen. If he says he's doing it, he's going to do it. So obviously, this didn't sit well with Whitlis. 1,000 people, they're all outside, and you got to love it. You listen to all these media outlets talk about, they weren't wearing masks and they weren't social distancing. Gee, I'm sorry, were those football players who locked arms, were they social distancing? Were they wearing masks? By the way, side topic, but it popped into my head. One of the coaches had one of those full, plexiglass face shields. That is just really stupid. Really, we're going to wear welding equipment now? Every time that one of those ads pops up on my Facebook feed, I type a smart little comment in there. The whole thing is just stupid. I don't wear a mask anywhere anymore. Nowhere, ever. Sometimes I would wear it on the bottom of my chin just to walk through the door. I don't even do that now. I just don't wear it. And there's only been one place out of all the places I've gone that they really gave me some flack. And you know what? I took my business elsewhere. That said, these players aren't practicing social distancing. And by the way, how do you practice social distancing when you're pile driving a guy into the ground? So don't give me this about Trump's followers aren't wearing masks and not practicing social distancing. And they come out by the tens of thousands. They can't all get in. And they line the streets. When he went to Kenosha, they lined the streets for miles hoping to catch a glimpse of him. And every time we see a Joe Biden event, it's him and 3 people in a backyard with chairs spaced 40 feet apart, and he's wearing a mask, and he's reading a teleprompter, and he's getting the answers in his ear, and he's handing out beer and pizza. And you really think that America can't wait to vote for Joe Biden? It is going to be such an overwhelming landslide for Donald Trump. There is a backlash building. I am telling you, Trump is going to win New York. He's going to win California. There is a backlash. Now, I'm not saying that the Democrats aren't going to do everything they can to try to steal, cheat. That's what all this mail-in voting fraud is about. But I am really believing and praying that the numbers are so overwhelming landslide for Donald Trump that even the liberals on election night just throw their hands up and say, I can't go through months of investigations and hearings and yada, 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 and talk about recounts. He won it. He got it. Let's just get over this and get on with it. See, it's time for them to get worn down, like they keep trying to wear us down. Because after all, on November 4th, COVID goes away. Hey, that's it for my weekend rant. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a great big thumbs up and a like. And make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell and click the word all to get notification of my next rant.